What if I told you the man who revolutionized space travel and reshaped humanity's future found himself in an unexpected twist of fate, all because of a quiet suburban movie theater? Elon Musk wasn't looking for luxury or grandeur that night. He craved something ordinary, something real. But what unfolded next was anything but simple. It was a moment that left him questioning everything. Wearing his usual casual attire of a t-shirt and jeans, Elon added an accessory that made a bold statement, a red cap embroidered with the words, "Make America Great Again." For Elon, it wasn't about politics. It was a symbol of encouraging bold ideas and innovation, values he believed transcended partisan lines. Yet as he stepped into the small, vintage-style movie theater on the outskirts of town, it was clear that not everyone shared his perspective. The theater, a charming relic of the past named Golden Reel Cinema, was bustling with moviegoers eager to watch the latest blockbuster. Families, couples, and groups of friends filled the lobby, the aroma of buttery popcorn wafting through the air. Elon entered quietly, unnoticed at first, purchasing a ticket to the film. It was only as he waited in line at the concession stand that murmurs began to ripple through the crowd. "Is that Elon Musk?" someone whispered. "No way! What would he be doing here?" It wasn't Elon's fame that stirred tension, however. It was the red cap perched on his head. Some patrons cast him side glances, others exchanged knowing looks. The hat, a symbol that had sparked countless debates, immediately polarized the room. By the time Elon settled into a seat near the middle of the theater, the whispers had grown louder. People stared, some frowning, others shaking their heads. One man, seated a few rows behind Elon, muttered loudly enough for others to hear, "Can't even watch a movie without someone trying to make a political statement." As the trailers began to roll, Elon stayed focused on the screen, seemingly unfazed by the growing unease around him. But the tension came to a head when an usher, a young man with a nervous expression, approached him. "Excuse me, sir," the usher said, his voice low but firm. "I'm going to have to ask you to remove the hat. Some of our patrons have complained." Elon looked up at the usher, his face calm but his eyes sharp. "Complained about what?" he asked, his tone measured. "It's just a hat." The usher shifted uncomfortably, clearly caught in an awkward position. "It's causing a disturbance. We'd appreciate it if you could remove it or—" he hesitated before continuing, "or leave the theater." A murmur of agreement rose from some nearby patrons. Elon glanced around, his gaze taking in the mixed reactions. Some faces were hostile, others neutral, and a few appeared sympathetic but reluctant to speak up. After a brief pause, Elon stood up, towering over the young usher. "You're asking me to leave because of a hat?" he asked, his voice carrying just enough volume to be heard by those nearby. "I paid for my ticket, just like everyone else here. Are you really going to make this about politics?" The usher's face reddened, and before he could respond, another patron, an older woman seated a few rows ahead, turned around. "It's not about politics," she snapped. "It's about respect. That hat represents division. We don't need that here." Elon's expression remained composed, but there was a flicker of disappointment in his eyes. "Respect goes both ways," he replied evenly. "I'm here to watch a movie, not start a debate. But if my presence is truly that disruptive, I'll leave." He picked up his jacket and walked toward the exit, his posture as steady and confident as ever. The room was silent, save for a few murmurs and the soft hum of the movie's opening scene. As the door closed behind him, a sense of unease lingered in the theater. Some patrons looked satisfied, others uncomfortable. A few, like a young man near the back, shook their heads in quiet disapproval of how the situation had unfolded. Outside, Elon stood under the marquee, the cool night air brushing against his face. He looked back at the theater, his expression contemplative. Then, with a small, almost imperceptible smile, he walked to his car. He had an idea. The next day, the staff at Golden Reel Cinema arrived to a surprising announcement. The theater had been sold. The news spread quickly, and by mid-morning, it was confirmed that the new owner was none other than Elon Musk. The reaction was immediate. Social media buzzed with speculation, news outlets picked up the story, and locals gathered outside the theater, eager to learn more. Elon's first act as the new owner? closing the theater for a day to host a community meeting. A sign on the door read, Golden Reel Cinema, under new management. Join us for a special announcement tonight at 7 p.m. By evening, the theater was packed. Curious residents, local reporters, and even those who had been present the previous night filled the seats. Elon stood on the small stage, dressed simply, his infamous red cap nowhere in sight. The room buzzed with anticipation. Good evening, Elon began, his voice calm but commanding. I want to start by saying that my intention here is not to divide, but to create a space where everyone feels welcome. Last night, I was asked to leave this theater because of a hat. While I respect differing opinions, I believe we can do better. He paused, letting his words sink in. The audience was silent, their attention fully on him. This theater has a history, a charm that brings people together. I want to preserve that while ensuring it remains a place of inclusion and free expression. Starting today, Golden Reel Cinema will be reimagined. We'll modernize it, improve the experience, and most importantly, foster an environment where everyone feels they belong. Applause broke out, hesitant at first but growing louder. Elon's expression softened, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Let's move forward together, he concluded, and let's start with a free movie night for the entire community. The crowd erupted into cheers, the tension of the previous night seemingly forgotten. As the meeting ended, people left the theater with a renewed sense of excitement. But for Elon, this was just the beginning. He had plans, big plans for the little theater that had sparked a much larger conversation. The next day, the sun rose over the city, and with it, whispers of what had happened to Elon Musk at the movie theater began to spread. Social media platforms buzzed with accounts of the event, videos, photos, and commentary about the richest man in the world being kicked out of a theater for wearing a MAGA hat were everywhere. Supporters and critics alike debated furiously. Some felt the incident was justified, while others called it an outrageous example of bias and hypocrisy. Meanwhile, Elon remained unusually quiet online, fueling speculation about what he might do next. But while the world debated, Elon Musk was already making moves. That morning, employees of the theater chain awoke to an unexpected email. Subject, important announcement from Tesla Entertainment. The content of the email was brief and direct. Dear employees, as of today, the ownership of this theater, along with all others in the chain, has transferred to my holding company. More details to follow. Regards, Elon Musk. The announcement sent shockwaves through the company. From the boardroom to the ticket booth, employees scrambled to make sense of the situation. Some were thrilled at the prospect of working for the tech billionaire, while others were uneasy about what his leadership might bring. Later that day, Elon arrived at the theater, the same one where he had been humiliated just hours earlier. This time, he was dressed in a sharp suit without the MAGA hat. A fleet of sleek electric vehicles parked outside caught the attention of passers-by, and a crowd quickly formed. Inside, the manager, Tom, was pacing nervously. He had been the one who made the decision to kick Elon out. While Tom hadn't known who Elon was at the time, he now deeply regretted the choice. The billionaire's sudden acquisition of the company had left Tom unsure about his future. As Elon stepped into the lobby, a hush fell over the room. Employees stood frozen, unsure of what to expect. Tom approached him cautiously. Mr. Musk, I, didn't expect you to come back, Tom stammered, trying to gauge Elon's mood. Elon looked at him calmly, then glanced around the theater. It's a nice place, he said casually, his tone unreadable. Good layout, decent location. Needs better popcorn machines, though. Tom blinked, unsure if Elon was serious. Yeah, sure, we can upgrade the popcorn machines. Elon turned to face Tom directly. You're the one who kicked me out last night, right? Tom's face turned red. He nodded slowly. Yes, sir. I didn't realize it was you. It wasn't personal. It was just policy. Policy? Elon raised an eyebrow. Kicking people out for their hats? Tom opened his mouth to explain but quickly closed it, realizing there wasn't much he could say. Elon turned to address the crowd of employees and onlookers who had gathered. Here's the thing, he began. I get it. Policies exist for a reason. But when a policy stops making sense, when it creates division instead of bringing people together, that's when it needs to be re-examined. He paused, letting his words sink in. This theater, and every other one in this chain, is no longer just a place to watch movies. It's going to be a place where ideas are shared, where debates happen, where everyone, no matter who they are or what they believe, is welcome to experience something bigger than themselves. The crowd murmured, intrigued. To start, Elon continued, we're implementing a new system. Tickets are free for kids under 12. Popcorn will be half price on weekdays. And we're launching an app that lets you reserve your seat, order snacks, and even vote on what classic movies we should screen every month. Applause broke out as employees exchanged surprised but excited glances. And one more thing, Elon added, his eyes sparkling mischievously. We're rebranding. This place isn't going to be just another theater. It's going to be part of Tesla Entertainment, and it's going to revolutionize how people experience cinema. After the meeting, Elon walked over to Tom. I'm not firing you, Elon said, much to Tom's relief, but I expect you to lead by example. That means treating everyone, no matter what they're wearing, with respect. Deal? Tom nodded vigorously. Deal! Thank you, Mr. Musk. Elon smiled slightly and patted Tom on the shoulder. Good, now go upgrade those popcorn machines. By the evening, the theater had been transformed. Employees wore shirts with the Tesla logo. Neon signs lit up the building, showcasing the new name, Tesla Cinema. The first film under Elon's ownership, a special screening of The Social Network, a cheeky nod to the world of innovation and rivalry. As guests poured in, they were greeted with complimentary snacks and drinks. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, and amidst the crowd, Elon Musk was there, walking through the lobby, chatting with moviegoers and taking selfies with fans. At one point, a young boy approached him. Mr. Musk, are you really the owner now? The boy asked, his eyes wide with wonder. Elon crouched down to the boy's level, smiling. That's right. Do you like movies? The boy nodded enthusiastically. Well, you're always welcome here, Elon said, handing him a voucher for free popcorn. As the night wore on, it became clear that Elon's acquisition of the theater wasn't just a business move. It was a statement. He had turned a moment of rejection into an opportunity to create something better. And in doing so, he had proven once again that he wasn't just a billionaire or a tech mogul. He was someone who saw possibilities where others saw problems. The lights dimmed and the movie began. Elon slipped into a seat in the back row, quietly watching as the screen came to life. And as the crowd laughed, gasped, and cheered, Elon Musk smiled, knowing that sometimes the best way to make a point is to let your actions speak louder than your words. Enjoyed this story? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and surprising stories like this.